Check. Whoa! Okay. All right, now that we've got that all sorted out, I believe we better...
Dadgummit.
Welcome to Sit Down and Shut Up for Real.
That was a beautiful episode opening, I think. We went through a lot of emotions.
Yeah. We're probably going to cut that beginning out.
Possibly.
For YouTube later, but for the live audience, they just got to watch us fumble around silently as I listen to sound effects and piano keyboards as I try to figure out why the microphones weren't working. Wow. Okay.
Oh, well.
That was a bit stressful for me.
I bet.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I hear it in your voice.
So now I got to unwind with some coffee.
Yes. We're just going to drink this silently.
Okay.
We're just going to act like
just
our
a moment of
microphones
silence
don't work.
for our podcast, which is dying.
Hello, my name is Mario Ostler, and welcome to
Yeah, we
Sit
totally
Down,
missed
Shut
out
Up.
on that gag.
This
I'm Alex.
dude is, yeah.
Alex Poselski. But you don't need to know that.
I made this up on the spot.
That's pretty good, yeah. So the first order of business for
First order of business
for today
for the new stormtroopers.
is no. What about new stormtroopers?
You said first order.
Oh, no, it's not 66 or anything. Unfortunately, we are rescheduling Sit Down and Shut Up.
Oh wait, yeah, that's. Wait, hold on.
What?
Hold on.
What?
I'm gonna do this again.
Okay.
Think about it, guys. Episode, what was it? Episode 3, execute order 66, and then 3 episodes later, and then the 4th, they start the first order.
Which episode is this? 14 or 13?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
we ever acknowledge that we were on the 13th episode?
We're on 9.
Oh.
We're on 8.
No, we're not.
8 is coming out.
Okay.
Right?
No, we're very far past that because we had our 10th anniversary special.
Oh, no, I'm talking about Star Wars, you son of a whore.
Okay. Well.
We're on episode 14.
Well, for that, we're on episode 8. I'm wondering what episode of Sit Down and Shut Up
This
we're
is
on.
14. It should be 14.
Okay.
Hi, I'm awake
brief
now.
moment of whoa. So
We're rescheduled.
we put out a poll for our viewers and everything because we noticed that a lot of people weren't able to tune in to Sit Down and Shut Up, and the most popular time by not very far is Friday at 7 p.m. Yes, so the next episode of Sit Down and Shut Up will be live on Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. You can tune in and have a ton of fun with us.
I can't wait to
once
see you.
in your life.
I hope the live stream goes both ways and we get to see them live. If you're watching on your phone, we can hack the system into turning on your front-facing camera.
Yeah,
and watch you guys as
we
you
have
watch
connections with the NSA.
Yeah. Just putting that out there.
Just so you know, a little disclaimer for you. All right, so now that we've got that all sorted out,
now that's over with.
You want to talk about your recent adventure in Facebook ads?
Yes. Okay, so we're on Facebook, as you might know.
Yes.
Okay.
The people watching right now do know.
We've done well enough, and I'm gonna toot my own horn here. We have done just well enough for Facebook to say, you know what? Here's a $30 coupon. And what is this coupon for, you might ask?
Well, I think they just give the $30 coupon to anybody.
I think so too, but still. We used it to promote a video that I couldn't figure out how to use it for a different video, but I was using it for a video, and at the start of that day, we had 26 views and 2 likes, and it was 2 likes from Mario Ostler and Caitlin Lopez. Since yesterday, let's pull up the stats. If you don't mind me pulling up the stats. You're gonna have to do that for a while because I'm lost in my phone.
Oh, okay. I'm good at vamping. I'm good at really raising the tension for you. We're just gonna keep going until we figure out the. Oh.
So, we got the $30 coupon. I accidentally added $8, so that added a day of promotion, and we reached 1,113 people. That's how many people we reached with $7 so far.
And 0 people have liked the page or the video.
Well, the video got 6 more likes.
Really?
Yes. I thought I told you this already.
Is it from people we know?
Possibly.
But
that's not important.
I'm not gonna check it right now, but I will check it later. And if you are incorrect, I will upload this clip to YouTube, and I'll say I'll put a big incorrect on the title.
Ignoramus Mario. Yeah. No, well, I remember it started off with 26 people that watched it, so it was 26 views, and it had 2 likes from me and Caitlin. But now we're at 586 video views. And I don't know the difference between people reached and video views. I'm pretty sure all I should be focusing on is the views.
Yes, but the view counts as 3 seconds of video viewed, so they could have just stopped. Been like, what are these 2 people doing? And then seen that nothing was happening and then kept scrolling.
Yes. But that's all Facebook told me is at least that many people watched for 3 seconds.
Yeah. That's the reason that Facebook has proportionally more views than YouTube. Like you see those videos with 18 million views or whatever, and they're kind of mediocre, is because people share it and it's just automatically on people's feeds. So they could accidentally stop on the video and it counts as a view. Whereas on YouTube, you have to intentionally click on the video to see it.
Well,
unless you're a teacher and you don't know how to turn off the autoplay feature. So when you show a video in class, I've never had a teacher that's savvy enough to turn off autoplay.
Oh yeah. Every single one of my teachers like, what? It's playing the next what?
Yeah, and
all of them are clueless.
Every single time they show a video and then they keep lecturing and you see the low countdown timer.
You're like, oh god, oh god. Everyone in the class is just
everybody in the class is like, oh my god.
But we're only at $6.96.
So we're gonna reach a lot more people. We're gonna touch a lot more people. Mm-hmm. We're gonna diddle a lot of people with our Gutter Dreams presence.
We're gonna turn them into gutter trash just for us.
For us.
That brings me into my second topic that I wanted to talk about,
which is
what we were doing last night.
Yes, I was about to talk about that too. I'm glad that we're moving at a breakneck speed because we'll be done with the podcast in 20 minutes.
No time.
Yes, I mean, I was partly inspired to start Sit Down and Shut Up with Mario from Shane, the president of improv. We've talked about him a couple times.
Is that so?
Yes.
He inspired you to tell me, hey, we're doing this.
Yes. He started in March a podcast called Big Boys Small Talk. It's very fun. It's kind of like the 2 dudes talking genre that we're in as well. Mm-hmm. And they've got a great lineup, although Trent died recently, so...
I'm sorry. I think I just spittled on you.
So it's Gavin and Shane now. But
Trent didn't die.
I've listened to every episode. Point that out. I've listened to every episode of Big Boy Small Talk.
You listen to them all the way through?
Yes, every single one. I'm always there.
Where do you get the time?
I'm like their second biggest or their biggest fan. I'm not sure. Depends on how much Keith is keeping up.
I'm their least biggest fan, but I'm still a fan. Like the mark where it meets to be a fan. Because I've only listened to when he's listening to him.
Yeah. So whatever. So
But they're great and funny. I just don't have the
yeah,
interest.
and we've worked a couple times on each other's projects, and I was like, you know what? It's about time that I was on Big Boy Small Talk.
So your first time on Big Boy Small Talk was also included me.
Yes,
I'm honored.
And they're like 40 episodes in, and I've listened to every single episode, and I haven't ever been on Big Boy Small
Gosh,
Talk.
Damus.
So
And they post on iTunes and iCloud.
yes, they're
or
on SoundCloud and iTunes. They're not a video podcast like we are because we are special.
We're special beshels.
So it was a lot of fun, and we came onto the show with the explicit purpose of ruining it, and I think we totally succeeded.
We totally did. We
So
absolutely.
that will be
reached our
out
goal.
Monday. Look for Big Boy Small Talk on SoundCloud or iTunes, and we'll also post a little thing on Facebook for you to tune
Little
in.
diddle.
So that's a bit of extra podcast for you to listen to.
Yeah. That was really fun. You ignoramus. I don't have any napkins for you, you son of a. Oh, it's almost like we were prepared for this.
God.
Did Caitlin say something?
No, she said the chat looks cool in horizontal mode,
Oh yeah.
and we're in horizontal mode right now. So it's,
What was she talking about? The Facebook live
for
stream?
the phone, I think when you tune in on the phone and it's like, yo, you turn.
Hey.
Your,
Oh,
Oh.
because she can see the comments.
yeah, they're on the side.
Yeah.
and yeah, that's pretty cool. Somebody's home. The garage is opening as Mario plays the garage piano song. So thank you, Big Boy Small Talk, for hosting us. We'll have them at some point in the future if we get more microphones or somehow figure out how to. It's always a very technical challenge to get more than two people on this live podcast.
Because is it because it's also video and has to be posted on YouTube?
Yes,
Live
it's
stream.
because it's video, and also the live setup kind of futzes things up a bit.
Futzes.
Because what they can do is they can record our voices and they can process it, right?
Yes.
So they can do compression and EQ and make it sound good and everything. I'm doing that live. I've got FL Studio running in the background, taking our microphone inputs, going in, and then compressing and doing it on the fly. So if you add in the more microphones you add in, the more processing power it needs, and you know all that stuff. So
Jeez Louises.
Caitlin says, "No, I have another podcast." Gross.
What does she mean?
Sorry.
What does she mean by that?
She is Big Boy Small Talk. She doesn't want to listen to yet another podcast
You're
because
gonna
she's already
have
sick
to.
of sit down and shut up.
If you love us enough, just enough to hate us enough, you will not listen to.
But she says she can't wait to hear Seth Rogen. So
Oh yeah.
he's always a pleasure.
He's beautiful.
He talked about gorillas.
Oh, I was going
That's
to
something
mention.
to look forward to.
I was going to mention the fact that them two are on a little musical in Denver.
Oh,
in Denver.
Are we talking about this on both podcasts?
I don't see a reason why not.
All right. Yes, I'm working with Shane, the president of improv. And we're making a kind of like Lil Dicky. He's a parody rapper. Or not parody, but he's like a rapper who just has funny songs.
Does he have almost emo hair that goes in front of his?
No, he's got a
eyeballs?
Jufro. He just looks like a really nerdy Jewish kid.
Because of the movie Little Nicky
No,
with Adam Sandler.
no,
Is that why that's his name?
no. It's because he has a little dick,
Little Dicky.
and that's he's always talking about
There's
it.
like a little fur ball in my my shirt. Hold on.
Welcome to it is the month of October. That's another topic for later.
I'll
But right
keep
now,
that
I'm
for
talking
later.
about my podcast with Young Sweaty. That's his name.
But that's his
Shane
official
is,
name now. His third official.
Well, so he's got his serious rap name is Prime Ape.
Oh, yes.
And that's why we talked about gorillas on the podcast. He knows a lot about gorillas.
He knows a lot of interesting facts about gorillas. Primates.
Saving Primate Ryan.
Saving Primate Ryan.
And then his second comedy rap name is Young Sweaty. And
Young Sweaty.
Because it's easier to produce, and I'm doing the daily music project, I can always like make a quick beat for him. So we're releasing an EP sometime in the next month or so.
For those of you who do not know,
yes, I do music.
An EP.
I made all this. Yeah.
There's about an EP amount of music on this.
Oh, you were gonna say what an EP is.
So I just learned yesterday what the heck that is. After many people Googled it. To clarify what the heck this EP thing is. I think it has to do with some sort of mandatory amount of songs to meet the what? Meet the requirements needed. What
yes,
do I keep saying?
The requirements
this is a convoluted
for
sentence.
An LP.
An LP or EP?
EP is extended play and LP is long play.
Limited extended play.
And it goes back to like records when they had vinyls. EPs were like smaller vinyls, I think. So they had less space on them. And the history of it is that EPs were generally used to test an artist. A label would release an EP for an artist, and if it sold well, then they would promote the artist to like doing an LP, a full album, because they didn't want to waste money on them, if they weren't successful. Nowadays, rappers and electronic producers generally are the most common people to do this. They just release EPs because the streaming culture. I can't believe I'm talking like this seriously about something. The streaming culture of today means that your singles are more likely to be successful than a full album. So people are releasing less albums these days, and
just one hit wonders like
Blizzard the Wizard. So the things that people are releasing these days are singles, and then they usually collect them into EPs or something like that. So
4 to 6 songs.
4 to 6 songs, or 10 to 40 minutes. I think 40 minutes for me personally, like that's the amount of time that would take for something to become an album.
You said 40 limit max?
40 minutes
is the max. Okay, so that's, let's carry the two down.
That's 10 4-minute songs.
Yeah, that's pretty danky right there.
Yeah. But usually EPs are 4 to 6 songs.
Yeah.
So now that we're done with boring technical music industry talk, Caitlin wants you to talk about something. She says, LOL, promote your dumb Lego wing. So Mario,
all right, fine.
Promote your dumb Lego wing, please.
Hello.
We just waved to the ghost.
The ghost of mommy past.
Come on, promote it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking for it.
Go!
Okay. So recently, I accidentally played 0.02 seconds of a Star Wars song. We're going to be wrecked. Okay. I was searching through the YouTube webs, and I stumbled across this YouTuber by the name of Lego SW, as in Star Wars. So Lego SW Pro. Okay. Stumbled upon some of his videos, liked his stuff, subscribed, and then within like a week, he went ahead and made a contest. So he asked
perfect timing for you.
Yeah, exactly. Right when I became a subscriber, he's like, okay, so he makes this video. You have to make a Star Wars related mock. You could have already made it. Enter it into this contest. I will promote you if you win, or if you become one of the 3 first, second, and third place.
And if you didn't know, Mario has...
I have a Lego Millennium Falcon display model over at ideas.lego.com or
You
whatever.
can go to search it and click on support. You don't have to
Yeah.
have a login or anything.
You have to create
Oh,
a login. That's the worst part.
okay. Well, just do it for Mario.
Yeah.
Because...
So ideas.lego.com,
Yeah.
if you don't know, it is a Lego official site where you put in some sort of creation made out of Lego, and Lego looks at it and says, not good enough. But it's fun to do it anyway. So I made a Millennium Falcon display model. I think
because
it's
there
brilliant.
aren't enough
Yeah.
Lego Millennium Falcon display
Well,
models.
because this one is sort of small enough.
This one is unique.
This one's unique.
From my understanding of the Lego world.
Yeah.
They did release a massive,
Just like
super
a few months
expensive
ago,
Millennium
or 1
Falcon,
month ago.
Which is
The biggest Millennium Falcon, or biggest, Lego set. Yeah.
The thing that I mean, like, it just feels like a cash grab to me.
Oh yeah.
Because your model is unique in that it's the most detailed that I've seen,
As small
and
as it
the
is.
most true to the original, but it's like this big.
Thank you.
And that is like, I thought it was impressive, but the comments that people are leaving on his thing, like, I'm not big into like the Lego community, but the Lego community's response to his thing is like, whoa, can I'd buy the instructions from
Exactly.
you.
And
So-
I didn't make instructions, and you're not allowed to sell instructions when you have it on the
Really?
on the Lego Ideas.
Oh, so Lego Ideas commenters,
Yeah.
were you trying to get them banned?
That's the real intention.
It's blackmail.
Yeah.
Or not blackmail, espionage.
Exactly. So he made this thing, the requirements, Lego Star Wars. Boom. I threw my thing up there. He honored all of the entries, all like 20 something of them. And that was really fun and entertaining. And then it got to third place. And I was like, I haven't seen my name yet. Second place, I haven't seen my name
Oh,
yet.
no.
First place, boom.
I see my name.
Ostler Ideas. Boom. But it was under.
Bada boom.
So, but he split it up into 2 categories. You can win first place, second place, third place in vehicles, or first through third in landscape type of things. So I win.
Congratulations.
So thank you to what was it? Lego SW Pro.
Yes, you've got at least 76 subscribers who will now support-
78 now.
Oh, 78.
Yeah.
Damn.
Damn.
So I want to talk about last episode, where
I'm just a stupid
we totally
man-child.
we totally started the episode as ourselves and
Yeah.
not as Cody and Caitlin pretending to be ourselves.
I don't even. Who's Cody and Caitlin?
I don't know. I just made up some names just
Okay.
to,
Okay.
set up this hypothetical scenario where we have people who are not us appear on the podcast without needing extra microphones.
Okay,
And
that's interesting.
I think in this hypothetical scenario, it actually worked pretty well.
I think so too. I mean, I think it would too.
Yes. So because we've tried to have guests on before and it didn't work so well with our technical limitations, I think we've discovered a format
It's flawless.
hypothetically
Hypothetical,
for people who could show up on the show.
as long as they just pretend to be us.
Yes. So I don't think they have to pretend to be it, but you might expect some more guests in the future. Mm-hmm. But that's just
me.
That's just me. That's a hypothetical scenario.
Doesn't exist.
That's just a little thing. I really enjoyed the last episode, and
Yeah.
it was a bit disjointed at times, but I think it was fun.
It was very fun.
Shout out to the hypothetical people who
Yeah.
appeared, who are now watching live.
Probably something along the lines of like Cody and Caitlin.
Yeah, some names like that.
Yeah. Cody being the boy and Caitlin being the girl.
So I'm watching next topic. Is there like a good
We need a bell.
next
Ding,
topic?
ding, 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 ding. The bell worked great.
The
Sit down
bell
and
was-
sit down and shut up. Big ass small big boy small talk. They use a bell when they.
Well, they've
wanna-
never done that before.
Well, we did it last
we
night.
started the trend of having a bell when we wanted to move on
started-
because we were going down a lot of paths.
There was a lot of bell dingins. I hope they keep that. To be honest,
It was fun.
I used it as a beat maker. Also, it was our own. Our own soundboard.
But what was I gonna talk? Oh yeah, I've. How did I get to that topic?
I don't know. Jim Carrey.
Oh, I guess I just wanted to do the next topic, Bell.
Okay.
I've been going through old Sit Down and Shut Up episodes. I could see Mario's hand hovering over this. So that was suspenseful. I've been going over old Sit Down and Shut Up episodes.
I have all of these different tones to go through or notes, but I chose the one that it is.
The original. Whoa. So I've been going through the old Sit Down and Shut Up
Get
episodes
on with it.
to find clips that I could pull, like 1 minute clips to promote on Facebook.
Really? You've been doing this?
Yeah, yeah.
Did we promote one of them?
Yes.
For $38?
For $38, and it reached 1,000 people. Isn't
Within
that
like a
amazing?
day?
Yeah.
That's weird.
And I noticed that we, for some reason, I think the most common topic for us,
The destruction of the Earth.
the destruction of the planet
of the
Earth.
planet Earth.
I don't think either of us is generally a very alarmist or sensationalist person.
I used to tell everyone to about conspiracies, and I would force it down people's throats.
Were you one of those people?
Because I watched like a single documentary on the History Channel and thought I knew everything about everything all of a sudden.
Okay.
Used to be.
That's like college students going to a philosophy class for a
Yes.
semester and then being like, "Oh, well, Nietzsche said."
This was inside pre-existing topic amongst some of us.
Yes. I don't know why we're always talking about the end of the world on this podcast.
Correct.
And I think we're talking about it again today.
As
Do you
as
remember
planned.
we were fairly young when 2012 was around.
It's a weird way to put it, but yes.
Do you remember December 21st?
December 21st,
December 21st, 2012.
with the end of the world.
The Mayan calendar ran out of days.
The Mayan calendar had a limited amount of space to have carving on it. So
And they
once
just-
it used all of the carving space up, that means
I guess the end of the world.
that means end of the world.
For some reason, when I was a kid, that made perfect sense.
Because the Mayans were genius, and they said it even accounts for leap year.
Oh man, I remember as a kid. I was
This was in
very
2012.
2012.
As a tiny baby kid,
As a tiny baby kid in 6th grade. I was
6th or 7th.
6th. Pretty sure I was.
Did you have a phone?
No, I didn't.
This is I did the same thing with Shane. It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Goodbye.
Bye. I remember that I was kind of very concerned with the I knew in the back of my head that there was no chance that the world was going to end
Yeah.
on December 21st. But in the week leading up to that day, I felt a gnawing sense of dread.
Oh.
Did you feel that
I remember exactly the feelings I had during the last few weeks of it.
of the world?
I thought in my brain, okay, I might as well be really safe when it comes down to going outside going to parties, talking to women, because in my brain I thought, okay, a lot of people out there, the not the dumb ones, but the ones that are gullible enough to believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Out of those few, some might be reckless during those last weeks
Yeah.
and sleep around, loot, rob,
So how many women did you bed
all of them.
as a 13-year-old kid?
Well, and I was just in my brain, that's what I thought.
Oh, okay.
Not that like I'm gonna
do it.
but then like the last 3 days, I didn't even think about it.
Really?
They just blew past, and I was like, "Oh yeah, wait, it wasn't."
Oh, we're still here, huh?
Yeah.
I remember.
But then I thought, and that's why I researched the leap year thing. Someone said it didn't account for leap year. Other people said it accounted for leap year.
Oh, so you just didn't know.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just the haze of those days.
Yeah. It's such a weird time. I remember
The movie came
I remember
out.
CNN. The movie came out. Yeah, somebody was capitalizing on that fear. But also
Right.
CNN had a news report, I remember seeing like people on the news talking about how the world was going to end on December 21st, and there was like a nuclear bomb image that they were showing in the background. And like, I don't think we've had a mass hysteria about the end of the world on that scale since then. There
Correct.
was the eclipse.
Oh yeah, well, or the planet aligning on the
The
23rd.
the recent one, but
September
I didn't
23rd.
hear about that until the day it happened.
That was the podcast.
Yeah, and maybe the world did end, and now we're in some kind of purgatory where we just do the same
Ooh.
podcast over and over again, and we just don't.
That
know
would
it.
be interesting. At least we would have the same amount of commenters, viewers. 2 is fine.
We
Our
actually
friends is fine.
last I checked, we had 3 people watching.
No way, and it's not even me this time.
It's 2 now, so somebody dipped.
Damus. If you're watching, comment something. We will respond.
I don't promise.
I will try to respond.
When do you think the next?
I was gonna say today, because I'm going to destroy the Earth with my bare
Oh
hands.
dang, my didgeridoo isn't here. I was about to do a prophecy. Wow.
When do I think the next craze will be?
Well, yeah, today.
I think the next craze will be 2020.
Oh, that's
We
a
haven't
good.
had a 2020 before.
That's we haven't had the year 2020 before.
You couldn't see it coming? The end of the world?
No.
All of the end of the world, and all of the 2020 puns.
I'm just
horrible
gonna.
jokes.
I'm just
Never
gonna
gonna
go to
happen.
sleep for
The whole
whole-
year.
the ball's gonna drop and I'll be.
The thing about
I'll
it
be
is,
out.
all of these 20-somethings already could happen. 2020 is just the popular one.
Yeah.
You can have 2017 vision.
Oh, Caitlin says something.
You can have 2029 vision.
It's Caitlin wrote something, so
Okay, so at least you're texting
now we're
something.
responding to your comment.
I will reply with what the joke is going to be nothing.
Oh,
Oh, that's not a thing.
so it's not the end of the world. It's never
It's
gonna
not
be the end of the world. Come on, guys. Get
Until
your
it
head
is.
together.
Until
The
it
end of
is.
the world is obviously 2031. Quote me on that.
Oh boy. Why couldn't you push it further?
I'll push it to 2032 for you.
Oh, God.
I think the last major one before 2012 was Y2K. So maybe it comes every 12 years, which means 2020. What was
I
that?
had to burp for the podcast.
Which means 2024 is the next thing.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
Will it account for leap year?
No.
Okay.
Now, you wanted to say something about Jim Carrey. You're not letting this go yet.
It's because he's not fully insane.
Gosh dang it.
It's like
We've been thinking about Jim Carrey. He's in our hearts.
he's in our hearts
In
and
our
souls.
prayers.
It's the end of the world for him. I want
For him in particular.
It's the end of him.
Oh, God.
Well, he's not like batshit crazy. He can hold a conversation with people.
Right.
He's not like scratching his neck and saying, the end of the world is nigh.
Okay.
He's just says he has this theory about human beings
Being non-existent.
being not human beings. And I think it's part of me thinks it's a gimmick for him to sell his paintings. I think that wholeheartedly because so he goes from being front man, funny man town, and then he's gonna start getting some lead roles, whatever, big Hollywood man, and then you sort of don't see him for a little bit. He grows a beard, shaves it, and then he does Dumber and Dumber 2, spelled T-O or T-O-O or T-O or something, and he seems like a normal chap. And you don't see him again for like another year or whatever.
And then he comes back.
And then he comes back. And for me, it came back with, okay, he does paintings. He's a great dude who paints and whatever.
Yeah.
And then like a month later, his whole brain or something goes loose.
Yeah.
On the internet, at least.
Well, if you're not in the loop,
If you're not
he did
in
an
with the end down.
He did an interview with it was at New York Fashion Week, I believe, and he was just talking about how nobody exists, and we're all meaningless balls of energy dancing on a plane,
Which is what I think a fancy dancy artsy mancy at an art gallery would say. We're all just balls of
fire.
energy. Yeah. It's exactly what I think it is. I think he thinks he's the new, what is it? Andy
Circus.
What the
Andy
fuck's-
Kaufman?
Andy Gibb? No, Andy. What's his name? With the turtleneck, the blonde hair, with the cans of paintings.
Warhol.
Andy Warhol.
Did
And
he
all-
have
and all of
blonde
them.
hair? I don't know.
I think maybe it been a wig.
He's a cute boy.
He's a cute baby boy. So I think, yeah. Part of me thinks he believes it.
Yeah, I think people are being a bit harsh on him. I mean,
Yeah.
it seems like he's going through a tough time.
With people accusing him of murdering his wife.
Yeah, I mean,
Being the cause of her death.
that is kind of accounted for.
And all.
But I mean, like, there are. I feel like, in some ways, being a celebrity is like a punishment, because if you do something wrong, you get not one judge saying, "Oh, you're wrong. You go to prison." You get like 6 million people saying, "You're wrong.
Yeah.
Go to hell."
And then people who probably like didn't even tune into anything you've been a part of since like however long.
Yeah. I mean, like, there is like the simple fact is that, like, you know, he did kind of do something wrong, but nobody knows the full extent of his story. And
Was he even
it's easy
charged?
to extrapolate just one single piece of information, and
Yeah.
our society is about that in these days. So, like, you just naturally you extrapolate that piece of information, you form your whole opinion on it, and it's naturally infuriating because, you know, it's just that one simple fact that, you know, he drove his ex to kill herself. Wow. that's
Allegedly.
dark. Allegedly. So, like, but you don't know the full, like, maybe he was under the influence or something. I don't know. So
Maybe
I think I just don't like people talking to or talking about celebrities when they're having a tough time, you know?
because they're people too.
Yeah, they're not like they're not CGI.
They're not just CGI Shreks walking around.
And that's probably the most sentimental sit down and shut up's ever gonna get.
Now we really gotta hate on him.
Jim Carrey, get your ass out of your head.
Jim, how do you carry yourself?
Come on, man.
Jim needs to carry himself better.
All right, you know what month it is?
May? June?
Oh, now you're
July?
Now I'm
August?
confused about what month it is.
September. November.
Yeah, November.
Skip what it is.
It
It's
is
that oct one.
officially Octopus Vember.
Octopus dot. What day is it?
The 7th.
It's this. Ooh, that's
This is the first.
I wish it was the 6th.
This is the first.
13th.
It is Friday. Our next
Oh,
podcast
yeah.
will be on Friday the 13th.
No way, because we chose
Yes.
we chose Friday.
Yes.
Woo!
Yes. If
We're gonna have
you're
a
just
Friday-
tuning in,
Ooh.
Friday, 7 p.m. Tune in for Friday the 13th live stream. I just realized that that's what it's gonna be.
Should we do?
We're gonna get so hyped for that.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
exactly. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, write it down. Put it in the come bucket.
Yeah, I'll put it. I'll put it in the actual one. Save.
Okay.
Put it in our actual one.
So this is our first Halloween month podcast.
Woo!
And I just love me some horror.
Sweet Halloweenies.
Oh, sweet Halloweenies.
Halloweeners.
Halloweeners. What is your favorite holiday, Mario?
My favorite holiday, Mario. My birthday. I definitely it's always just been Christmas.
Christmas?
I'm a winter boy.
It's
We would visit our grandma during the holidays. It would snow and
Anita?
Anita.
Hi, Anita.
Hi, Anita. I mean, grandma, of course. Love you. Anyway, we'd visit her during the holidays, and it was fun and inviting. And I don't know, just I always have positive feelings when it comes down to holidays. Even when they're playing like jazzy music in plazas, where it's Christmassy jazziness. It just calms me.
It's
good.
it's kind of weird to me how they've backloaded holidays to the end of the year, and it's just like, why is it winter? And there's something very fuzzy and warm about Christmas time.
Well, not if you live on the south,
Right.
or the southern hemisphere.
I mean, it is still warm. Just a different kind of warm. Wow.
Southern hemisphere people, come visit us during our holidays.
So quick note. Dadgummit writes, me and Kate won't be watching
Fridays.
Friday the 13th. And then he said, in fact, this is probably going to be my last view of your podcast ever. Make it count.
That's the end of the show.
Okay, bye. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Why?
Are you guys leaving already? Are you guys leaving to
Istanbul?
to Europe? They're doing
no, they're doing that in April.
April. I didn't catch
don't
when
know.
they're doing it.
But
why the fuck aren't you? Why the grandma aren't you showing up? You jerks!
I don't know if it's just Cody being Cody or if they're actually not available Fridays. Because
the hell?
Caitlin ticked to that Friday box. So
I know. So that's a verbal and electronic contract. She might
Correct.
as well have put in her electronic signature with her social security number and everything.
Oh, Cody says he works Friday nights.
Well, what about Caitlin? Didn't she click
What about
yes to
Caitlin?
Friday?
So
What am I looking
We got
for?
sidetracked.
Pondcast.
but my favorite holiday might be Halloween. Because it's so strange.
It used to be.
It's so strange for me that, we have a whole month where we just really get into horror and like awful things.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think it's kind of maybe healthy for society to like really get into
I heard that
the darkness.
I heard that scaring and being frightened every now and then is actually good for your heart.
Nice. So yearly we have our little catharsis fest.
What was I typing? Oh, Friday the 13th.
So they're going to dinner Friday night, Friday the 13th. Well, you guys are going to have an unlucky Friday the 13th dinner.
It's like you're not gonna talk to anyone on YouTube.
You guys won't be tuning in, but the whole podcast will be muttering incantations to make your dinner the worst.
I think part of our segments will be
a hex upon Caitlin and Cody for not watching.
What do you think the chefs are spitting into their food right now?
Okay.
Well, there's gonna be maggots in their food too.
Yeah, so be sure to tune in after the live show to see us hexing you. Wiccans who watch this show are gonna be like, what?
So Wiccans are the boys, and witches are the girls.
No, Wicca is just its own thing.
What are the boy witches?
Wizards.
I thought Wiccans were boys.
No, Wiccan is just like anybody who practices that kind of.
Once you do that and you're a girl, you're viewed as a witch, though.
Well, no, you're a Wiccan, but you're also a witch.
Can someone tell me what
I don't think
witch
Wiccans.
is?
I don't think serious Wiccans consider themselves witches. I'm not sure though. I don't really get into Wiccan culture that much.
I do. I tell you what.
But every episode we're gonna have a little something for you, and today,
Here we go.
Here we go.
A male witch is simply called a witch. Never a warlock, and it's considered an insult to call a male witch warlock.
Whoa.
So I was mixing it up with warlock, and it's not even warlock.
Don't offend them anymore, Mario.
Sorry.
You're going to fling out magical slurs everywhere.
I'm a warlock sympathizer.
Okay. So I'm going to talk about briefly Mother.
Nature? Or the movie?
The movie.
Wait, oh yeah, because you watched
Lowercase Mother with
I
an
will
exclamation
explain it
point.
to you, me having not watched it.
Okay. So he's going to pitch it to me right now based on his knowledge of Mother.
Mother is in the same universe as Hunger Games.
Okay.
and that girl lady essentially plays Mother Nature symbolically. And if someone does something she doesn't like, she might retaliate by sending in like maybe what is it like a mass tsunami or something.
Okay.
If she's gonna give birth to a tree, because after all, I mean, you're not just a girl.
Yeah.
You're a mom.
Yeah.
So she's gonna give birth to maybe, or give birth to something, like maybe a symbolic gesture of what pure Earth would be. It's gonna take place in the 90s. When does it take place? Doesn't matter.
It's ambiguous. They have smartphones at some point.
So 2020.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what the rising action would be or the climax. Because I mean, what are you gonna go off of? Mother Nature.
I guess birthing a tree.
According
to you.
Birthing a tree.
She eats a lemon, and then the lemon seed inside of her stomach
it
grows into a tree.
Grows into a tree, and there's a beehive in there also. So she enjoys that.
Yeah. References to a podcast episode that hasn't been out yet.
Can you give me a tiny spoiler?
A tiny spoiler. Oh man. Okay.
Or what? Can you tell me if I'm at all right or wrong?
You are correct in some aspects.
Really?
Yes, you did get some stuff right.
Ooh.
surprisingly.
Mother Nature.
I'm not going to say anything further because it is kind of like...
So she gives birth to a tree.
Yes.
That's all I knew. I knew I was right.
Minor spoiler. If you want to go into
minor
this film...
spoiling for me or for them?
For everybody. If you want to go into this film...
Because I'm never going to... I don't think I'm ever going to watch it.
If you want to go into this film, cover your ears and scream blah, 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 blah for the next about 30 seconds. You have 2 seconds to do that right now.
I was partially spoiled with
1.
a certain aspect on
blah,
it.
blah, blah. Okay, so the minor spoiler is that she's renovating a house, which definitely draws you in, doesn't it?
Yes.
So that's the interesting thing about that movie is it's tagged as a horror movie, and a lot of people are angry with it because they think it's going to be like a popular horror movie, but it's really an art house film.
Okay.
Which is mass promoted. So a lot of people are going to go in not knowing that this is like not your average film.
Okay.
And it is a horror movie a different way. It's a horror movie in like the characters that you're watching are making you horrified at what they are doing.
Really?
Yes, and somewhere into the third, or like right when the third act is starting to get started, you kind of just don't want to be watching the movie.
Really?
Because it's just that miserable.
So that would be a good horror movie for me. I don't equate slasher movies really with horror.
Uh-huh.
I don't equate a guy running around with a knife as horror.
Yeah. I'll say that if you have OCD, this movie's gonna make you
try to be unsatisfied video.
Yeah, this is like one long, oddly unsatisfying compilation, and you're like, I'm so unsatisfied. At the end of the movie, as the credits were rolling, I was unsure whether I liked the movie or not.
Okay.
And
that's exactly what they want.
Yeah,
is you 20, to be not
20
sure
minutes. 20
like
minutes after the movie, I was loving it.
Really?
Because I was talking with people about it, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then, because the film, like you're watching it, and you're like, "I don't know what is happening."
That was beautiful. Can you do that again?
I don't know what is happening.
Ooh, that got my goats going.
There's a bit of distortion going on there.
What?
But so there is a clue in the credits. I'm gonna give you.
Was it a screeching owl?
Yes. I'm gonna give you this.
Wait, was it?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you this this pointer to look for is that the promotion of the film and everything surrounding it is all. There's never a capital letter in any of the promotion or anything, and there's one capital letter in the credits.
Is it a T?
I'm not gonna say anything. There's one cap. I'll tell you afterward because you don't care.
Really?
But because spoilers for the people.
Wait, I want to guess though.
Well, you can guess, but I'm not gonna confirm or deny.
Why not?
Because if I confirm the letter, you might be able to figure it out, and then like it kind of spoils the whole movie.
It was L.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Definitely has to be L.
There's one.
You take L,
there's
you
one
flip
capital
it upside
letter,
down at 7,
and then it's Waluigi.
Yeah.
No, there's one capital letter, and like when you see that, you're like, oh, and then you start connecting events in the movie to like, you're like, oh, that makes it all makes sense.
I would not have seen I did not know there was any sort of non-capital letter type gimmick going on. What's happening?
If you go to the movie theater and you look at the board of movies available, you see mother is uncapitalized with an exclamation point, just lowercase mother.
Okay.
And the promotional art, Darren Aronofsky, the director, he went on Reddit and he did a question and answer session, and every one of his answers was lowercase, except for one answer, which I think he just forgot. But like,
Or it wasn't directly related to the movie.
Well, somebody asked him, like, why are all your answers lowercase? And he was
Because,
like,
bitch.
He was like, oh, you'll have to check the credits. And I was
But
like,
what?
oh.
Why would any like? I wouldn't even have thought that it was deliberate.
Well, you don't think it's deliberate until you get to the credits, and you're like, it all makes
So is it like
sense.
really noticeable? Like, was there just a bunch of letters that were just? But was
It's
it in a person's name, or
It's
was
not
it in?
super noticeable unless you're looking for a capitalized letter, and then it's like, oh yeah, that's a capitalized letter. But if you're just like sitting, if you're leaving the theater, and you're about to see what. Caitlin says, sorry, I went to go get that sauce and they were completely out after they said they had it. So I waited for no reason. Hashtag Rick and Morty. She wanted to get
she went to
the Mulan
McDonald's?
sauce.
Is it at McDonald's?
Yes.
Is it called Szechuan sauce?
Szechuan.
Smush mash.
So
Keep talking. This is interesting because
yeah.
I like puzzles with movies and figuring out stuff.
yeah. So if you were leaving the theater and just kind of glancing at the screen, you might miss it because it's kind of like
Oh, okay.
It's
That's what I was
in
wondering.
plain sight, but like if you're not paying attention, you might notice.
But like,
not notice it.
was it just in one person's name, or was it in
Yes.
everyone's person's names?
It's in the cast list.
But like, is it just one person, or is it in all every letter in their names?
No, everything.
Like the one letter.
Everything is lowercase except for one word, and you're like, oh. So, if you're down for art films and movies that make you want to leave the theater, go check it out. And now I'm not sure if I liked it or not. I liked it. I liked it 20 minutes after I watched it, but now I'm like not sure. And Shane invited me to see it Sunday.
I don't know how it would be any other letter besides MOTHER or R or R.
It's the exclamation point is capitalized.
And it's upside down and it's an I.
Caitlin says, if you like puzzles, you like Jigsaw.
So
And then she says, I'll go home.
She does that a lot.
This is a very different kind of puzzle, Caitlin. It's not a Jigsaw. It's not Saw.
Oh wait, isn't there a new Saw movie coming out?
There is. I think
Does it come out Friday the 13th?
I think it's called Jigsaw.
Is that what she's saying?
Yeah. It's like the origin story or something. I thought they were done with Saw movies. I remember an announcement, like a headline saying, director says he's done. I guess they can't let a good thing die.
Wait.
They got to keep squeezing it until it dies.
Sorry, I missed everything you just said right now because I had a thought about jig, and then what I thought was jib.
The jib is up.
Anyway, what were you saying?
I don't know.
Something about the Saw movies.
Saw movies are done until they decide they need more money.
Yeah, exactly. Wait, this is a character people know. Shove him in a movie.
Yeah. It was very smart in that they adapted half of the book, and now they're like, oh, well, we're obviously so successful. We've got something else to go off of, you know?
You know what? I think it was unsuccessful.
Oh, tell me why.
Because it didn't get me interested in it.
Oh, you don't like clowns that do a hokey dance?
Well, so
from Six Flags.
As I mentioned from before, I don't equate I'm gonna get you with horror movie.
Okay.
Unless you're a grandmother and 5-year-old and you're really frightened when something's chasing you.
Yeah.
But I want a psychological thing.
Okay.
Or at the bare minimum, not to see the entire creature.
Yeah.
So it's up to me to
Is there
speculate.
Is there any horror movie that you can point to that's like actually pretty scary to you?
So movies that I wouldn't off the bat say are horror movies, but have the element of somewhat surprise in it.
Okay.
Or element of I don't fully know what's hunting us would be Predator.
Predator. Okay.
I was gonna say Jaws, but you know what a shark looks like. You just don't know its size.
Yeah.
Horror movies where I don't watch a lot of horror movies, but I want. Now I'm struggling to remember because now I'm just thinking about Predator. And that's partly why 2 doesn't work for me. What's another good one?
Another good horror.
Yeah.
Alien
Alien.
or Aliens, if you're into.
Mm-hmm. I think because it's like a slasher movie, but you don't get to see all of it.
Yeah.
And it's a creature that would haunt you.
I think the part of Alien that's more scary than an average like hunting thing is that like they designed it so well to be unsettling because it looks like a massive phallic monster, penis monster. And also it's like
greasy.
The perfect killing machine, like genetically designed to be and superior.
And part of its species rapes your mouth.
Yeah. That's one of the best monsters that I've ever seen.
And it's like a multi-part monster. Also, it's not just one.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it starts with one thing, then it has to impregnate you before it's this worse thing. But I think the first part is worse.
Okay. Caitlin says she went to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, and she was surprised to not see it, the clown Pennywise.
Oh,
I'm surprised too. Was it a Universal property? Maybe because it's not a Universal film, they wouldn't be able to use that clown.
Or it got more popular than they thought,
mm-hmm.
and they just didn't have time before.
Yeah.
You went.
Caitlin also says Insidious is scary.
What's that?
It's the one about sleep. Kid has dreams about like a demon, and turns out that the demon is real and haunting the house that they're in.
Bore.
I've always been scared of horror movies, but Insidious was like part of my stepping into the genre and kind of accepting them and kind of wanting to watch them a bit more. That was like one of the first ones I watched, and I realized that horror movies aren't that bad.
Yeah.
I loved the soundtrack because it kind of went for.
I live in a cave, so
yeah, I'm gonna explain it to you. Is it went for old school horror tropes for the soundtrack? So you have like violins just screeching up and down,
Ooh.
and it's just like fantastic. Like you haven't seen. I haven't seen a lot of good movies that have that kind of. It sounds experimental, and it really works for a horror movie. Dadgummit says, fun fact, Insidious means looks good but is actually harmful. And that's what the movie is.
Fun fact, my brother over here.
Dag.
My brother Dag over here. That's a ISP joke.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Insidious.
Because he's Insidious.
Yeah, it was.
Thanks for that. By the way,
we appreciate an interesting
it.
movie, and now I think because we've kind of transitioned into horror movies, it was really nice transition.
That was a good transition because I'm remembering that we were gonna mention
our main topic, which it's already like the end of the podcast, pretty much. We've been going an hour, but we can go just a bit longer.
I think we can go longer, especially because this is the last
activity.
one. This is the last episode at this time.
Yeah, Saturday episode, and it would be fun.
We should do it for the full 4 hours.
4 hours. Yes.
2 full 4 hour long.
Caitlin says, Drag Me to Hell was a funny horror because it was stereotypical.
Okay.
So like, I guess hokey.
I like tension in my horror movies more so than anything. Tension and psychological trauma.
I loved Evil Dead 2. because it was
Yes.
funny. It was funny.
Yeah.
But also, like,
Some of
what
it-
I noticed
some of
watching
is
it
works.
what
as
I
actual
noticed
horror.
watching it was that the most effective part of it was the camera work.
Oh yeah.
The one thing that's really interesting to me in horror films is like they do a thing that most other films do is they follow the character, you know, but
Yeah.
the audience really wants the camera to look in another direction because like you're always in a horror movie, you're always like you have this instinct that you have to check every
Yeah.
corner of the room or whatever, and the camera just doesn't want to do that. And that's what the tension of a horror movie comes down to a lot of the time is the camera doesn't show you what you want to see. And that's like a lot of tension in horror. And if it's done really well, like you don't have to have a scary monster. You can
Yeah.
just have that tension go throughout the scene. And I really respect horror movies that don't do like sometimes you have horror movies that do that thing with the tension and
And then pop.
jump scare.
Yeah. Jump scare.
What I can really respect is like a really tense scene and then
That
it
leads
just
to nothing.
eases out of it.
God.
So
Good.
like Evil Dead did this thing where like you're following him like going through the cabin and then like you can't see anything that he's looking at, but he's like checking every corner and then it just kind of moves on to see the rest of the cabin after he's checked it and you're like you get that tension that he feels, but once he's realized the cabin is safe, like the tension is gone. And that leads us to our topic, which is we're gonna it's a game.
But that was well said, by the way.
And we're gonna thank you. I'm a film student, so hopefully I'm able to analyze film, techniques. Our current we're gonna tell each other what scares us the most in horror movies or just in general.
Okay.
And then we're going to design a horror film tailored specifically to the other person's fears. And I think after that, we could possibly do it for somebody in the comments. What about that?
What about that?
So, who wants to go first?
I
Do you
think
want to go over the fears first? And
I'll
then,
go with what irks me.
Okay.
Like, so what makes my hairs of the back of my neck crawl?
Okay.
First, my skin crawl. Is that what it
Okay.
is?
I'm gonna
I'll do that first, and then I'll try to go into psychological.
I'm gonna see if I can jot down some notes.
Okay.
So if I'm on my phone, I'm writing down Mario's fears so I can kind of
Yeah.
formulate my thoughts on this.
So the first one that immediately comes to my brain is the stupid holes.
Okay.
What's that called?
Trypophobia.
Trypophobia. Caitlin knows what I'm talking about.
What? Oh.
Caitlin knows what I'm talking about.
And that's for people who don't know, it's the fear of gaping holes,
just holes.
in usually skin, but also just like a surface that has pores.
I can't even. Jeez. And it's not like it's on its own as scary. It's just then you start get the feeling like you have it or you have to scratch your arm or something. You have to take a shower, make sure it doesn't happen to you. I don't know. It's just weird. Let's see here. What else gets me going? I like it.
Caitlin says, hate it.
Of course,
She knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, We're like this. I like it when I don't see all of the creature.
Uh-huh.
If there's a creature, I want to not see it all the way. Sometimes I might not even ever want to see it. Just up to me. I don't like it a lot when you do this whole movie, you don't see it, and then the big reveal is this thing, and it's like that's not that scary looking. That's funny. Gets me going. It'd have to be clowns.
Clowns.
Don't write that down. Clowns don't scare me. I scare clowns.
Okay.
It's hard to think about what actually legitimately scares me. Maybe we can go back to forth if you have something,
Okay.
just so I don't have to keep thinking.
So I'll talk about what grinds my goats
Into cheese.
into cheese. One thing that scares me, I'll do two things actually. I'm always really kind of I had a brief period where I was Or actually, I'll do 3 just to give you some options.
You're a man. You had a period?
Yeah. It was a dark time for me.
I labeled this Scary Alex story.
Okay. So one thing that really kind of terrified me at some point in the past year or like a year or two ago was I had this brief moment where I was thinking like I'd always look at myself in the mirror and like look away and then look back into my eyes. And
I've done that before.
It unnerved me that I could never see myself looking away from myself. Every time I saw my reflection, it was staring directly at me. And I started thinking about like just the possibility that the thing in the mirror is not me.
Yeah.
And that's just like so freaky.
Yeah. I've done that before. So you look in the mirror long enough to where your eyes adjust to looking at that thing.
Uh-huh.
Okay? And if your eye just sort of moves to one end or the other, what happens in your eyeballs is it burns into your retina the exact colors.
Uh-huh.
So when you look slightly away, you almost see a duplicate of yourself,
Ooh.
sort of like this.
Uh-huh.
Not perfect, and you sort of look scaly. Is what happened to me. So I'm looking at myself, and then I sort of shift, and then I look scaly, and my eyes are the only thing that stayed the same.
Mm-hmm. That's That's
So
kind of the same.
It's just
feeling.
like this creature looking at me now, and I'm like,
That's pretty freaky. And I just the idea. I know there was a horror movie called Oculus that I totally just
Octoberly.
I just totally looked away from it. I was like, I'm not.
yeah.
Every time I saw it, I was like,
Oculus.
I never watched a preview
Can
for
you
it.
type this down or spell it out?
OCCULUS. It was about this mirror world.
Orange
kind of
County,
thing.
Orange County.
Yeah, it was
What
about
is it? OCC?
Yeah, it was like about mirrors. That's all I know. And I was like, I am not gonna touch that movie because that is one of my fears. Is things in the mirror not being what they are. But I'm sure they did a bad job at it because I didn't really hear much about it.
Did you ever go to a fair and with the wobbly mirrors?
Oh man,
Funhouse?
That doesn't scare me as much. I think it's kind of corny when there's a scene in a horror movie where they're in a funhouse. It's just like the perfectness of a mirror is what scares me.
Yeah.
So like a warped mirror, maybe it would be kind of freaky if you're looking at it and then like it starts bending and stuff, and then like the bends kind of show something beyond. But like maybe I'm giving you ideas.
Do you hate the trope where a girl is in and she's doing her thing in the bathroom, then she closes the cabinet, and you're like, there's gonna be something in the fucking mirror?
Yeah. There was actually in The Evil Dead 2, he looks in the mirror and then his self like jumps out and grabs him by the neck. But that was kind of more funny.
I love it when they do him twice.
Yeah.
They do him twice in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Him as a clone.
My next fear is sleep related.
Ooh.
I am terrified of sleepwalkers.
This one, I think you've told me about this
Yeah,
before.
I think we might have talked about this on the podcast.
I still don't understand this one.
It's just like the fact that you're not present and your body is doing things on its own. It's kind of like possession in real life, but not by any entity. It's just like your subconscious mind. And
Ooh. Okay.
one of my fears, because my sister, my younger sister, Kira, she had night terrors when she was younger. So she'd wake up screaming.
Throwing some shade.
Yeah, she'd wake up screaming and crying, and it was really unnerving. And one night I remember being awake at like 2 a.m, and she was screaming out my name. And that really unnerved me. And I just imagined waking up and she's standing over my bed. And she's not awake. And it's just like...
Is it the implication that she could do anything at any moment, or?
Yes, it's kind of the idea that you're not in control of your body, and you're not even aware of what you're doing.
Is it being reflected into what you might think yourself, or is it just because she doesn't know what she's doing?
I think it's
Mixture of both.
yeah, it's just my mind races with the possibility of what she might do next.
Okay.
As like, because it's unpredictable. It's unpredictable to know what a person's going to do when they're sleepwalking because they're not. It's not them.
Yeah.
So you don't know if it's like their personality or anything. It's just kind of like weird.
But it could be exactly them.
Yeah. And another sleep related thing that I've luckily never gone through is sleep paralysis.
Was that when you can't move when you're sleeping?
Yeah, you wake up.
And you're fully awake.
But you can't move.
You can't move.
Yeah. It's like your body is asleep, but your mind is awake. And
So-
people hallucinate when there's
Like aliens abducting you and stuff.
not exactly.
Well, they hallucinate sounds.
Yes, and the most common visual hallucination is shadow people. And there's
Probably
a thing.
because the lights are off.
Yeah, there's a people say like they see like shadow things hunched on their chest,
Oh gosh.
and they feel like they can't breathe, and this thing is just like standing on their chest or something, or like
Just have a
crouching.
really heavy blanket.
Yeah, possibly.
And they can't move
They
their
have
bodies.
a lead lined blanket for radioactive stuff. And like they see things in the corner of their rooms
I
standing.
used to not be able to sleep because I saw faces and everything.
Ooh, yeah. The most freaky thing about sleep paralysis is people have it and they look it up online and they see other people saying that they saw the exact same thing they saw. So it's like people are seeing the same thing. And that's the common connection is what's really scary. It's like it's a man with a hat and a lantern.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's like the
That's what
Shadow
it
Man
actually
or
is?
something. Yeah, it's like people say that they've
I
seen
think-
this and then they
Well, now that you put it in my brain, next time I do this, I'm going to see a man with a hat and a lantern.
yeah, well, the thing is these people say that they never knew about it before they looked it up, and then it's kind of a part of folklore and urban
Yeah.
legend, but just the thought of it is kind of what freaks
right.
you out. And then the last thing is I love H.P. Lovecraft's work, and I used to love the idea of like the deep ocean and anything could be down there, and
Okay.
sea monsters and stuff. So I had a period where I had another period. I just don't know what was going on with my body. I had a brief moment where in my life where I had desktops of like sea creatures. And I was like, that's the coolest thing ever, man.
That's dope, man.
But every time I'd like go on the computer, which was quite often, I'd start thinking about like, there could actually be things down there.
You're good.
And like seeing those images over and over again of like these, like I'd usually get ones that should like scale. So there'd be like a ship and then underneath, a massive thing underneath it. And I started reading H.P. Lovecraft's stories, which are frequently about the things deep in the ocean. And those are horror stories. And so like slowly that fascination with sea creatures became
A fear.
just a general fear of the deep ocean. And that it has a name, thalassophobia. And
It's nothing to do with penises.
no. And if you look it up on Google Images, it's pretty terrifying.
Does it have is it linked to I'm wondering if it's the same phobia of just the deep sea
It's
based on the fact that openness.
it's the fear.
unknown.
It's the fear of just deep bodies of water beneath you. And like there's pictures of people like pointing their cameras down and you see their feet and then just the black void of the ocean.
God.
And it's just like just the thought of if you fell off a boat in the middle of the ocean, you have to be treading water, and there's just so much down there.
You're on.
It's
You're
just
in.
like
You're like a speck
yeah.
in a glass of water.
So those are my three big ones, big fears.
I had all this time to think about what scares me, and I couldn't think of. Well, I see faces. I used to not be able to sleep because I saw faces and everything. So shadow people.
Is that still something that affects you, or are you okay? So
This is gonna sound like a dumb old Mario girlfriend story, but
They're all dumb old Mario girlfriend stories, aren't they?
Yes. I used to not be able to sleep very well. I have nightmares.
This is starting to. I feel like it's going to end adorably.
It is. So she lives with me now, and I sleep like a baby.
Aww.
Aww. Boo. So yeah. What used to scare me, the petty ones as a kid, I remember having nightmares of people melting.
Oh. Okay.
Nightmares of just being stripped from people.
Okay.
And just abandoned. I used to be scared every time we went to like a store that I'd just be lost. Can't find my daddy.
That is a big fear that I had as a kid too. I think a lot of kids have that fear of being lost.
I'm not afraid of spiders. I'm afraid of heights, but that's for a different reason. Falling. I don't like taking off and landing on a plane.
Oh. You should watch
Soul Plane.
Soul Plane. You should watch Airplane!
2!
Exclamation point. Airplane 2, the part where the plane twists into non.
But what could dolls used to scare the hell out of me.
Ooh.
Basically something that's just trapped in time.
Yeah.
Like a being who's just trapped in time. Unrelated to when a doll comes at you and tries to eat you and kill you or whatever.
No Chucky.
Yeah, no Chucky.
Okay, so
psychological trauma is something. So I watched someone. I think it was David. I think David sent us something on the chat. Maybe it was Anthony or you. Who knows? Or
possibly.
Or Cody. I could say all of my friends' names. Gabriel. Me.
Just start listing your friends' names, please.
Someone found a video. And I think it was some. What is it? Foreign film. And a guy is forced to rape a woman.
Ooh.
Okay, he's forced to rape a woman, and then like they inject him with some sort of drug, and it forces him to forcibly have sex with this person, and then like start hacking at her with an axe.
Yeah, that's got to be
while still banging her.
It's got to be hard to watch.
That was very hard to watch. Thanks a lot.
Is that a Serbian film?
I don't know.
Okay,
but along with the tragedy that was human experimentation, just someone controlling people with substances and that's experimentation and
Okay, I'll add that as a note. There was, speaking of foreign films, there was a film I had to watch for my
was it French
class. No, it was
Dougal?
Japanese. It's a Japanese horror film, and those
folk know how to get your goats.
The Japanese films have a really different sense of horror, and because it's so foreign to us, because it taps into different fears, I think it's more unique and original and terrifying. There was The Ring a while back, but Czech film.
Was it you who
Cody,
sent it?
Did you send a Czech film that was... Yeah, he says he's pretty sure he showed you that.
You ruined me. Now I can't get it off unless I kill her.
Oh, God. There's I was referencing a movie called A Serbian Film, which is about like... I haven't watched it, and I don't ever want to watch it. It's like notorious for being one of the hardest films to watch. It's about like necrophilia and snuff films and like stuff like that. So it might have been a scene from that.
I bet a clown came up and was like, "Ooh, I'm a scary clown." Starts doing the stupid dance.
But the Japanese film that I watched was there. It wasn't that creepy because it was about like the end of the world, and there was like some kind of
2012.
It was about ghosts in because it was around the time that the internet was first being adopted. So it was about this
Okay.
idea that ghosts could go through the internet and infect computers and then come out of them and take people. But the scariest part of it was when the ghost first shows itself, the person walks into an empty room because they're trying to investigate like why this person keeps going into this room. And they walk into the room and then they turn around and there's a ghost standing
Ooh,
in the doorway. And so
Okay.
she's trapped against a wall. And
that gets me too.
that feeling of being trapped. And the way that they did it wasn't like trying to be like super ghost. It was kind of the approach that we had for our ghost thing was
Really?
that they dressed a person up in makeup and just made them look
Took
unnatural.
their eyebrows out.
Yeah, probably. And so the way that this person moved, it was probably a professional dancer or something because they moved so unnaturally. It was so unsettling because they'd stumble and they'd almost fall down on their knee, but then immediately like right themselves up again. So it was just like stumbling, but like kind of lilting towards. It was just so freaky.
I'd like to see that.
I'll show you a clip
We've got a few
if I can
comments.
find it. Serbian film is the one that Mario was talking about. So yeah,
That's what it was.
congratulations, Mario. You've seen one of the worst films. So yeah, that was. Are we ready to pitch movies now?
I'll get you with 3 fast ones that are all ghost related.
For
For one
for
fear that I
films
used
to
have.
watch, or
No.
just ones that scared you?
Things that scared me.
Uh-huh.
There's those right when I started liking YouTube. There was the Japanese ghost haunting videos. Do you remember these?
Not
Those are
quite.
the first compilations I've ever even watched,
Uh-huh.
where they would take you found footage of a real ghost,
Yeah.
splice it into one video, and it would be like realizing that something was there after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
So you're enjoying your day, right? But then imagine watching this episode of us right now, and there was just like there was just a shadow in like the corner
Uh-huh.
that just was there the whole
yeah.
time. So that's one. So not knowing until it's too late, something like that. But all ghost related where again after the fact you hear something at EVP or how a creature looks. So this plays into the game we all played with the trans. What was it? EP?
PT.
PT.
Paranormal
So
transitivity.
it didn't scare me that much, but it is sort of haunting to have like
I accidentally put up the title. Hey guys,
that's fine.
This is what show we're watching.
Yeah. I don't know what's more scary, going through a house that changes around you and you have to escape the house. That's fun and all, but every now and then there's just a creature that just doesn't do anything, but just is there.
Yeah.
And so it's just there, and it's towering, and it's a female form that's just towering, and just like just a dark mass, and it's just in the room. That gets you somewhere. That gets some sort of something. It's
That's as far as I can go. Good. Right. That was an accident. Sorry.
Welcome back to the last Saturday episode of Sit Down and Shut Up
That was a brief horror film that we made.
that we made.
I should stop I should stop typing and also having that window open so that I keep pressing all the buttons that are hotkeys for doing us other things.
So let's do this thing.
All right. I'll say one more thing that I don't get scared by as much as other people do is possession, demon possession stuff, exorcisms. David is terrified.
Yeah.
But yes, so Caitlin, she just listed off a couple of her fears, and we'll get to your fears next. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do horror movies for our fears, and then we'll do some horror movies for your fears.
Well, what if you list them right now? So
you can think.
I can think.
Okay.
Because what if some are related to me?
So Caitlin says trypophobia is her
Is
scare.
it the holes?
Yeah, whole thing.
So Shia LaBeouf.
Your horror movie is Holes coming September 26th. Darkness.
Ooh, yeah.
Mirrors. So same for me and Caitlin. Bugs under the skin, like in Mummy.
I was just going to say Mummy.
Possessed babies.
Why?
Because,
I'm a
big
baby.
stupid baby.
Why is it scary?
Not seeing where I'm stepping underwater. So like murky water.
Okay.
Similar to thalassophobia.
Yeah. Well, because what if you step on glass? I mean, you
Yeah.
know, or a creature.
And she says, I see spirits still, not as often when younger. So that kind of encounters.
Okay.
And dadgummit says, I fucking love coffee. Which is not related.
I really wish.
So let's make
had some more.
so dadgummit for you, for Cody, it's a horror film where a hipster cannot find his coffee.
Some hipsters somewhere.
Every coffee shop.
Every
he goes to
single
says,
Starbucks
we're out.
and Coffee Bean just says no, we're out of coffee.
Okay, so
They say we only have tea.
do you have an idea for mine, or should I go with yours? Because I have an
Well,
idea
even if I
that
don't have an idea, I can still make one. So you just go first.
Okay, so Mario, your horror film, your perfectly tailored horror film, starts with a man or a woman. Doesn't really matter what gender.
Okay, well, because I'm frightened of women.
Okay, so it's a woman.
Is she the protagonist?
Yes.
Okay.
And she's living through her normal day-to-day life. Possibly something happens, something strange, like she goes to a special, like, I'm thinking of horror movie cliches right now. I'm sure I could think of something better later, but she goes to like a store or something that sells occult stuff, and she just like stumbles onto something unnatural and kind of strange.
Okay. An object? A person?
Not an object, maybe like an event.
Okay.
She stumbles upon maybe like somebody assaulting another person.
Okay.
But it's like when she says hey or whatever, this person who's assaulting the other person like looks over, and they're like holes in their face. It's like rotting. It's not rot. It's just like a hole.
Okay.
And you can see through to the teeth or whatever.
Ooh,
and like where the bones underneath. But she only gets a brief glimpse before this man runs away.
Okay.
And so
was he across the street? Somewhere somewhat far?
Maybe down an alleyway. Like she's walking and she hears struggling in an alleyway, and she looks and she says, hey, because she sees these two people fighting, and this man looks and just runs away.
Okay.
And so now that she's crossed with this thing, it's a person. Okay. She's in her house.
The person who was assaulted just goes about their day.
Well,
they
maybe
just go about their own separate
maybe
ways.
they're talking. David is here. He says, this is live or is it dead? David, it is currently live, and what we are talking about right now is we've listed off our fears, and Caitlin's listed off her fears, the things that really grind her goats. And what we're doing is we're currently pitching horror movies that are specifically tailored to our fears. And so now I'm doing one for Mario, and so far it's about a person with holes in their face.
Okay.
And so this woman,
which is going,
she sees a man with holes in his face, and she goes Maybe she approaches this man, and she touches him. she like touches his shoulder to try to get him off. Maybe it's a man because I don't think a woman would be as likely to come.
I like this more.
Yeah, so
this is better.
She touches him, and she feels like something strange, and he.
So what if he's not assaulting someone? He's just struggling.
Okay, so he's on the floor.
Yeah,
and she approaches him. She touches him, and he like looks, and she kind of scrambles away.
Both of them are frightened of each other.
Yeah, and he runs away, and she feels like, oh my god. So then she goes home, and she lives alone. She's preparing, food for herself or whatever. And as she's eating at her table, she looks over at the wall, and she sees the wall like sinking in like pores. Or
you're just playing off of this.
I'm really playing off of this
because
I feel like that's a fear that hasn't been touched into yet enough. So I feel like sleep paralysis is starting to become a more popular thing in horror culture, and people are starting to latch onto that. But trypophobia hasn't really been attached to yet. And so she's looking at the wall, and like it's mind bending. It's like these holes are kind of forming, and you can see like it's just black beneath it, but like the wall is warping in different places, and she's really freaked out. And as she's going about her, like she goes to work and stuff, and she starts to notice that people are following her. And as the movie goes on, let's see if I have more notes on here. As the movie goes on, she starts seeing more of this kind of stuff happening. And at some point, she's like in the bathroom, and she sees her skin kind of like invert and kind of like melt into itself. And like she sees her flesh underneath.
Wow.
And like it starts like spreading up her arm, and there's like these small like pores almost, but they're not pores. It's like the skin kind of goes in and inverts, and kind of like you can see the flesh underneath, and it's just like.
So I'm imagining there's holes in the muscle. The skin is just getting sucked into those holes in the muscle.
Yeah. And it's just, and it's kind of, you can see reality kind of.
Okay.
And then maybe the guy that she was talking to, she like goes, she tries to find him again, and he is in a really bad state. Like he doesn't, like the holes aren't permanent.
Okay.
They just happen every once in a while. And she's like, I don't know if I'm hallucinating or what.
Of course.
He says he sees them too. And then they kind of like become friends, and they're trying to figure out what's happening.
I want to say I don't want them to be friends.
Okay. So she doesn't become friends with him.
We gotta solve this problem.
Yeah.
Together.
It turns out like there's scientists who are.
Oh boy.
Like, they take him in, and they start like working on them or whatever.
Okay.
Maybe I don't know if I'd really go for the scientist aspect of it, but like I'm imagining there could be stuff in a lab, and then she's in whatever space that she ends up in, she sees like flesh appear out of nowhere. Like holes in reality are flipping through, and there's like flesh kind of like maybe not skin toned, like some kind of like gray, slimy, I don't know, something just starts like writhing through space. And it's like, it's you know that we have a faint fascination with fourth dimension space. You remember when we were watching that video of that game where you could go through fourth dimensional space and everything kind of like twists in on itself?
Exactly like that.
You see this flesh kind of twisting in on itself. And so it's like suddenly you realize that there's something entering our world, and maybe she at some point sees the holes happen, and then the flesh comes out of the holes. Like this thing is inside of her,
Oh God.
inside of her fourth dimensional space.
This one's also for Caitlin.
This is fourth dimensional stuff. And it's a fourth dimensional monster entering our universe, and it's just messing with 3D space.
That's beautiful.
And so you never see the monster in full because it's in fourth dimension.
You can't see all of it.
But like you see like
That's
teeth
perfect.
and flesh, and it's just like all these holes are like holes in reality, and she's just trying to figure out how to get them to stop. And like maybe she doesn't. So
What she has to do is create 2 more holes in her body by ripping out her eyeballs.
I think this might be a 2-hour podcast, but I'm really enjoying this.
I like this. Okay, I have one for you.
David says, "Dadgummit, done gonna go 4D."
Do you have a title for that?
Holes coming September 26th, starring Shia LaBeouf.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, David's adding. He says, "Gutter dreams." I mean, also, and I guess he's typing right now. So we got. I like how Alex is always in baggy Hawaiian wear. That's
always.
just me.
Not always. Okay. I'm gonna try to piece this together.
Scare the daylights out of me.
Okay.
Oh, score me on how much you'd want to see this film and how scared you'd be by it.
I would be intrigued enough after knowing it's a fourth dimensional creature, or a creature that lives in the fourth dimension that's trying to cross over into our dimension. We can't see him. He can see us. That's pretty good. I would do 3.5 out of
10.
out of 10. I'd do 3.5 out of 5 until I hear maybe a soundtrack. The score, if it's a good soundtrack, I would definitely watch it 5 out of 5. Because soundtrack and soundtracks, that's the soundscape, the music and the sound effects.
I'd imagine
play heavily into this.
There's A Money has just come into the.
Woo, how you doing?
I don't think we know A Money. He or she or they says, "Are you two gay?" And to that we say,
Yes.
Yeah. We're currently pitching horror movies specifically tailored to our fears,
Yes.
to each other, and also to the audience
And we
members.
discussed what irks our nads.
Yeah.
So we took notes. I have a girlfriend. That doesn't mean I'm not gay, but I have a girlfriend.
The title's on again.
I'd like to say I'm straight.
I thought I fixed this problem, but I guess not.
Okay, but now it's my turn to pitch a horror movie to the beloved Alexander Guy Poselski.
Oh, I also wanted to add, because you said soundtrack.
Yeah?
So I want to say that because you said that, the soundtrack, I'm imagining if I was directing this film, I'd go for, there's a synth called a granulizer
Okay.
that takes,
Does it have anything to do with salt?
no, it takes a sound source and it chops it up into little grains.
Ooh.
And you can adjust how long the grains are or how much space is between them. So you get this kind of like feeling like there's kind of sounds like it's stuttering or it's like falling sand or whatever, like little bits. So it sounds like things are really warping. And I feel like that would kind of fit with the...
Okay. So that means it's 4.5 out of 5. And if you can promise me that it'll have a good sound design,
All right,
you're right in
cool.
the money.
Cool.
And it'll all depend on how it ends also.
Yeah.
But I would, if it's a trailer, you wouldn't tell me.
Is it our money? Oh, it's our money. AR money.
Okay. Sorry.
Thanks for tuning in, by the way.
Sorry, money. Okay.
Give me my horror film.
Okay.
I want to be
I have
spooked.
I have a few bits and elements to it that hopefully it'll just weave together.
Okay.
Now it's winter. Okay. And we're in a state where there is a river that's just completely iced over.
A river.
It could be a river. I want it to be a river. All you know about it is a river.
Okay.
Or a lake.
Are there piranhas?
And it's completely iced over.
Okay.
Okay. And so, of course, so it's going to be a 2017.
Okay.
I'm not
okay.
going to be in control with the filter that they use. It's just going to be a blue filter.
Okay, blue filter.
That
got
blue, cold.
Yeah,
yeah. And it's going to plague the movie.
Okay. It's gonna drop the movie
yeah.
down from a 5 to a 4.
It's going to look like they took the saturation down, just brought it down.
I'm
to
glad
like
you're realistic
minimal.
with this.
Yeah. Okay. So it starts off with a few children,
Okay.
and they're playing with the snow,
Uh-huh.
and they make a snowman.
Oh no. Not my snowman.
They make a snowman.
Okay.
And they're really proud of it.
Okay.
Okay. And but it's time to go home. Kid goes home,
Okay.
and they see in the window, they can look at their snowman. Not immediately. It's not immediate. And he's proud of it. And he goes to bed. Okay, just for tension.
Okay. Okay.
He goes to bed. It's about he's in 6th grade.
6th grade.
Or
Got
whenever 2012 is for you.
it. Okay. 6th grade.
Okay.
Okay.
6th grade. What does that make him, like 13?
13 is, yeah, I think so.
I'll do 13 is his first year in his teens. And he has like different toys for Christmas now.
Okay.
It's his first year where instead of like a box of Legos, he got like a phone.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Good setting the scene.
Except it's not a phone, because that makes horror movies horrible.
Yeah, yeah, you can
there's
call the
yeah.
police.
So instead of a phone, he got like a really cool, like fake gun.
Okay.
Okay.
Fake gun.
So are you imagining that?
I'm imagining.
Okay, so this family loves to fish in the lake,
All right.
but it's frozen over,
Okay.
and they're not allowed to tamper with the lake because
Got it.
during this time, ice skating people like to go on the lake.
Okay.
So there's no fishing on the lake.
How
at this
thick
moment.
is the ice?
Very thick.
Okay.
It's a big lake.
Okay.
Very big lake. Okay.
Got it.
Let's see.
I got
Let's
it.
go over my points one more time. He wakes up to find that the snowman
It's missing.
is still there.
Oh, okay. That would be a totally different movie if the snowman was missing and then he wakes up and the snowman's standing over him with a knife.
It's called Jack Frost. Coming whenever that came out. Whenever all of those came out. Okay. So yeah, he gets up. He's getting ready for school.
Is it Christmas time? Would this be a Christmas horror movie?
It is not Christmas directly.
Okay.
Like it's not gonna have a slasher Santa Claus or
Got
anything.
it.
Okay, but it's
Is
during the holidays.
the setting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like Christmas maybe a week ago because he had to have gotten the gift. There's still
Got
a tree
it.
up.
Got it.
So the scenery is still
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Candles and stuff. So he's getting ready for school because it's like the first week back into school. But it
Okay.
turns out it snowed in. Okay.
Dang.
So
I was looking forward to school.
No school, because the school is you can't even get into the school. There's so much snow,
Yeah.
and throughout the story or this movie, there's just more and more snow.
Got it.
And are you hearing me?
I'm hearing.
Are they hearing me? Are we
Yeah.
getting comments?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. So throughout the movie, there's more and more snow. So he can't leave his house. Well, he can. He can, but he can't get
Okay.
into the school.
Okay.
No school day. Okay. You
Got
with
it.
me?
I'm with you.
Let's see here. Let's go over my notes. A man
Okay.
a man that starts slashing
Okay.
people. Okay. There's a guy with an ice pick, and he's
Is the kid's name Edward? Is he Edward Snowden? That's a dadgummit joke right
Gosh, Damus. Okay. So he looks outside his window again.
Mm-hmm.
And his snowman doesn't look exactly the same as he left it.
there. Oh.
It's not as perfect as it was, or maybe someone had changed something about it. He notices that and before he goes to sleep at night.
Uh-huh.
Okay. He crawls under his
This
covers.
is the second night.
This is the second night.
Okay.
Okay. And basically we don't really hear a lot from the parents. They're sort of like the Charlie, what is it? Charlie Button?
Peanuts?
Peanuts, yeah. So they're just out because it's in the perspective of the kid. You know, this movie, the world is surrounding the kid. So during like maybe breakfasts, he don't really even see the dad's face that much.
Okay.
Or the parents' face. They might be talking about
It's kind of
things.
alienated.
Yeah. That just like and the topics they're gonna be talking about is just like so over his vocabulary that he just almost doesn't even understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's fishing poles and stuff in the house, and they really miss fishing together. He now can go to school, or he leaves his house to go to school, and it's not said that it's snowed in yet.
Okay.
He gets there, okay, and the school is snowed in now. Now he's trapped in his own school.
Okay.
Okay, you following me here?
Yes.
Inside the school, this is where some of these things start happening in a horror movie.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the kids are talking about what they got for Christmas. All of them got phones or whatever. He was the only one who didn't get a phone. He's the outcast. So he decides to run away from school. He goes ditch school. And then it snowed in. So all of these kids are trapped. All of his friends are trapped.
But he's out?
But he's out.
Okay.
Maybe a few other people are out. The dirty kids. Okay. And
The dirty
while he's walking home and all the snow is happening, he's walking home and he looks over at the lake. Okay? It's very important that the lake is snowed or iced over. So he goes over to the lake to try to fish.
Okay.
So
Very strange motivation for a kid, but
so he cuts a hole in the ice.
does he know how to ice fish?
Yes.
Okay.
He knows how to fish.
Okay.
And he doesn't know that there's a difference.
All right.
So he cuts a hole, big hole.
What if he just cracks it open?
He cracks it open with something.
Yeah.
Okay. And he looks over because he hears a twig crack. He looks over before he gets anything done. And he sees a light. Okay? It's sort of dim. There's a light going in the woods. Okay? There's trees and he just sees a light.
Ooh.
So instead of continuing, he packs up and leaves.
Okay.
He goes home. And they're like, his parents are pissed at him, but also happy that he left the school. They're pissed that he left,
But they're
happy that they get to spend this time with him instead of have him being trapped.
Yeah.
Because they got a call. We don't know where your kid is. He's supposed to be in school. Is he with you? Okay.
Got it.
Okay. Here's where the trouble comes in. He wants to go to sleep. This is the third night. He looks over his snowman. It's gone. He doesn't know why. But as he's looking at the snowman, he sees this light, this flashlight type thing happening. He's looking at it long enough, and then it's gone. He goes over to his covers again. Okay. He looks at himself in the mirror.
Okay.
and he doesn't know why he's looking at himself. He can't see himself when he looks away. Side note. That's nothing to do with the story. So he goes into his covers and he's dreaming of a dream. Okay? He's dreaming of a dream. And he wakes up in the middle of the night and there's this guy. So we think he's awake, and he might be. So he wakes up in the middle of the night, it's pitch black, and he sees this light outside his room. So he goes over to the window, and there's this man with a top hat and a lantern.
Oh.
But he can't move. That's not a good one. This one isn't a good one. But he sees this guy with a light.
What if he's stuck in bed And the man with the light walks into the window.
He could. He walks into the. You see this mass on the window.
Ooh.
Okay, so it's just like a shape,
Uh-huh.
a silhouette of something on the window, and it's casting this shadow in his whole room.
Mm-hmm.
And he's frightened. Okay, but he can't do anything about it. And he wakes up the next morning to find that his house is snowed in. The whole house is snowed in.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out that hole he made in the ocean through the ocean, the lake, is now so there's this blanket of snow that now it can be a tunnel of this whatever this creature is that's emanating from the lake.
Mm-hmm.
Can now just roam around the snow. It's an extension of the lake now.
Okay.
He's snowed in, and he grabs his fake gun and a flashlight, and he starts digging a tunnel to the lake.
Through the snow?
Through the snow.
Okay.
And he gets to the lake. And he gets trapped in the lake.
Caitlin says, "Get to the point, Marvel."
I know. So he gets to the lake, and it turns out his parents is the one who ruined his snowman.
Oh, the parents are the real monsters.
I don't know how to make this scary.
I mean, like, it's kind of corny, but I do kind of want it to be like a lagoon creature man.
Yeah.
I'm imagining like the anglerfish with the lights.
Okay. Ooh, so that was the guy.
Yeah, so
Lantern.
he's I'm guessing that like I mean, the fishing part is obviously something that you have to set up very early in the film, and it's like a big family thing, and because it's not happening, the family can't do it. So, but he really wants to do it, so he like goes out to the lake all the time, and one day he sees a faint light under the ice.
Ooh.
And he's like, "Oh, that's what's going on there." But like he thinks maybe it's like the moon reflecting or something. So like he looks up at the moon, and it's it looks like a reflection. So he like cracks open the ice to do his fishing, and there's a message. That's Anthony, I think.
He says, "Get to the point, Sheen."
Sheen. So he cracks open the ice, and then when he's leaving the lake, he sees like something in the woods right next to the lake that's just gotten out of the lake.
Yes.
And it's the light. And then he sees the light outside his window, and so on and so forth. I think that the Great Lakes are too big to be frozen over in the wintertime. And
It's just
also
that
there's also already a creature in Lake Erie. So I think it would be a fairly big lake that gets frozen over. So it's got like enough depth to it where like you wouldn't know that something's down there. And if it's done right, like the creature from the lagoon horror is generally very corny, but if it's done right, I think it could be not exactly like a terrifying horror movie, but definitely an interesting kind of suspenseful horror movie. And maybe you think that this is going to be like a family film where he finds the creature, and
that's why I didn't want it to be. I wanted it more so to be like
coming of age,
this new type of world, type of thing.
But I'm imagining at the end this thing gets into his room and tears him apart.
Yeah, I mean there's sloppy things happening.
Caitlin
also
says, "I thought this was going to be Doctor Who season 3," and David says, "More like Doctor Where." So, that's just
Doctor Whom.
Dr. Whomstuff.
More
like Doctor, where is this story going?
I wish I could apologize for the non-linearity.
All right, let's get one. Let's close it off with one for Caitlin.
Yeah.
It'll be almost 2 hours that we've been going.
A snowman crawls inside someone's skin and leaves holes in their body.
So one that we haven't touched on is darkness, bugs under the skin, possessed babies, not seeing where they're sleeping underwater.
Yeah, because unless I have a lot of thought,
spirits.
there's not much I can do with darkness or shadows unless I develop it into something
Okay.
that's actually scary and not
I've
just
got an
like,
idea.
Yeah, there's this thing.
More like Doctor, I actually left the computer to get a drink, so I don't know what they were talking about. That's what David says.
We're making happy stories.
We're making happy stories.
We're making stories that aren't horror.
Mario was trying to design a horror movie for me that latched onto my thalassophobia, fear of large bodies of water.
Yeah. But I ruined it by saying it's a frozen lake.
And shadow people. But he
Failed
wasn't
miserably.
quite able to get that sense of dread. I've got one for Caitlin.
Okay.
So, and you can riff off of me at any point.
Yeah,
Do you have
okay.
any ideas
For
right now?
Caitlin specifically?
Yeah.
Besides possessed baby who crawls under your skin?
Yeah.
Just you start and then I'll think.
Okay. So I'm imagining a woman. It's always a woman, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's a scientist. She's going to the Amazon to find some undiscovered species.
Is it a scientist?
She's a scientist.
Okay.
And her husband is also on this expedition.
Or wife.
Well, it's her husband
Okay, fine.
for a reason.
Oh, eggs
Eggs.
and sperm.
Sperms. So she goes with her husband, and they're having the time of their life. And you know what naturally happens when people are having the time of their life and they're also in love is they do the diddly.
Yes.
And
We should have done this.
David also is commending us on 41 subs, one more sub than last week.
Hey, would you look at that?
We
Maybe
need to
that's
kickstart
Money
this
Man.
ad campaign.
Maybe
That's
it
what
was
he
Money
says.
Man.
Yeah, our money. Thank you if you subscribed to our money. I don't think you're tuned in anymore. But so back to Caitlin's horror movie. She and her husband do the nasty. And I believe morning sickness is it right after or is it a week later?
It's during pregnancy.
She's there long enough to get morning sickness.
So
Okay.
she passes it off as morning sickness, I'm assuming.
No, she actually has morning
Okay,
sickness.
fine.
And
Fair enough.
So the intention is that she's pregnant.
Yeah.
At one point, they're in the Nile. Wait, no, not the Nile.
The Nile. She's in the Nile River. That's frozen over.
The Amazon? Is that the river? The Amazon River? Yeah.
I don't know anything about it.
She's in the murky river in South America.
Okay.
She's,
the one with the... Oh!
She's
You're going to bring up him pissing in the lake.
No.
I want him to piss in the lake and have a monster swim up inside his nads, and that's what he impregnates her with.
Oh, okay. David says if you don't link this video in 2.30 milliseconds, I'm going to kill myself. But I don't know what video you're talking
And
about.
I don't know when you sent that. So
Okay.
you're dead.
Sorry, David. So she's doing she's looking for a fish or something in the river.
A fish that's going out of instinct.
Or
An endangered fish?
It's just
A new
rare.
finding?
It's a new finding and it's rare. She steps into the river and
I want a raw fish.
she
not a
feels
rare fish.
she feels like a prick on her leg.
Ooh.
And she's like, "Oh, it's nothing, right?" And so she gets the fish and whatever. And she goes out of the river and has this new species of fish.
Okay.
But as they're driving back to their camp, her husband is like, "Oh, you've got blood on your leg, on your pants," and she pulls it up, and there's like a mottled, just a large section of holes. Back to the trypophobia. But like,
this is holes.
Her calf has a bunch of like drilled holes in them that are really small, just big enough to feel like they're bleeding, but like fairly small, and it's just a bunch of them. She's like, I don't. That's strange. So then, they go to like, once they get to the camp, or no, they stop. They're smart. They're scientists. They stop, and they try to figure out what's gone into her leg. Dadgummit says, "Here lies David. He gone done diddly died out of gutter neglect. May he burn in hell for all of eternity." So they're trying to they squeeze at the like infected, or not infected, but like
and then
the
maggots come out.
Area. Yeah, like a maggot thing.
Eggs.
A maggot thing.
Maggot things.
Only a couple.
Only a few.
Not as many
Okay.
as there are holes in the leg.
Ooh.
So they're like, "Oh crap, we got to go to the hospital, right?"
Oh crap, we gotta go to the hospital.
But the nearest hospital is very far away because they're in the middle of the jungle.
Yeah.
So they take her out, airlift her or whatever, and they go to the hospital, and they find more of these things kind of burrowed in her calf.
See, this is better for me also. This one's good for me also.
But they find more things buried in her calf, and then she goes home, and it's healing and everything. But she says that she feels like things in her veins. And the scary thing is like, her husband is like, "No, they got everything out. They got most of it out."
Yeah.
And you're just, like when you walk into a spider web, you feel spiders on your skin, but it's like phantom sensations.
You're looking for what you want to see.
David says, "Where's the fucking skeleton scene? This movie is bunk ass, punk ass, dunk ass, funk ass, ass ass." The skeleton scene is coming, David.
Just bear through this.
So now she's pregnant also. Remember this.
Yeah, of course.
She has her child. It is going to be a bit of a time skip. She has her child.
Wait, are you suggesting that women with wives can't get pregnant?
Well, they can through artificial insemination and stuff like that, but I feel like it's more
or cheating, or
it's more. There's kind of removed because
it's just too much to mention.
The husband is part of that human being that they've created, so there's a stronger emotional connection between the two of them. It could be two women.
I was just trying to complicate things.
Well, I uncomplicated it for you, buddy. Basically, what happens is there's in real life there's a fungus that infects ants' brains.
Oh yeah,
and makes them
zombies
to grass blades and whatever and do that
kill
shit.
themselves.
So basically, this is a parasite that's traveled into her baby while she was pregnant, and now it's like kind of embedded into the baby's spinal cord or whatever, to the point where like the cord grew around the parasite, so it's like deeply embedded in this baby. Like you'd have to kill the baby to.
Oh my god!
And
is this movie called Mother?
Yeah. And the baby is now, like, as it grows up. I'm guessing that the scene in the beginning, this whole thing I've been describing is like the beginning of the scene, and the rest of the movie is about the baby growing up.
Oh, really?
And it's like the baby gets increasingly terrifying
and more hungry.
Yeah, and more hungry.
The umbilical cord just won't cut it.
Yeah, David, that's just Cody and Caitlin watching with you. So, in the end, I don't know, the kid goes crazy and maybe infects more people. I don't know where to go after that.
Yeah, the hard part of horror movies is ending them.
I feel like it's a good setup, but...
It's a pretty good setup.
There has to be some kind of payoff to maybe the kid infects more people. Maybe it's like an alien parasite, or maybe it's just a parasite.
What if they have sex again and he gets it in his...
Oh, so he finds a wife, and then he infects her, and now
now there's a cheating triangle type thing.
Oh, well, no. Caitlin, how much did this irk you as a film concept? Hopefully it did a good job.
Let's just stay for another hour.
Let's do our 3-hour.
Let's do a 3-hour podcast.
How long
please?
have we been going? We got to subtract 10 minutes for how long we were talking without any audio.
Yeah.
2 hours and 17 minutes. So 2 hours and 7 minutes about.
That sounds good to my ears.
I think that was a good start to the month of October.
I think so too.
I'm glad that we got to talk about these
horrifying
things. Lake monster movies. Caitlin says, it's cute. It got me when you said, holy calf.
Yeah. Especially in the calf.
Yeah.
That was a good place to put it.
Yeah.
Also.
It's a nice big chunk of meat.
Yeah.
You know? And squeezing.
Yeah. Got me.
Yeah, I feel like that's more horrifying than finding like your skin warping in.
Yeah.
It's a bit less abstract and more like painful to watch, you know.
Mm-hmm.
David says, I'm gonna come.
Well, that was the intention.
Yeah, we were trying to. This was an erotic film.
Yeah. At the end of this movie, I think the man is forced to rape his wife, a hacker.
Yeah,
but with an axe.
Yeah, Serbian film. 2, The Return of the Nematodes.
The nematoids.
Thank you for tuning in. That was a fun podcast. Next time we are live, it will be Friday at 7 p.m. David, I don't know if you haven't seen that announcement, but we are going to be live Friday at 7 p.m. We are Gutter Dreams.
We are Gutter Dreams.
If you want to see more podcasts like this one, subscribe to this show, and we will inundate you with awful content.
Yes, you can watch our old stuff or our stuff to come. I want to thank all of our 41 subscribers.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And all of our thousands of people who watched over on Facebook.
Yes.
That was amazing. So I thank all of you.
The quest to improve this podcast continues forevermore. We will, soon as we get it to a quality that I think is, good enough for iTunes, then I'll start putting this stuff on iTunes, and you'll be able to listen to it.
That's a good idea.
The audio version on iTunes, but until we've got a good enough quality, we'll be waiting on that. And if you want to see them on iTunes immediately, then start, commenting, telling us how we did, if there's anything that we could have done better or worse.
Tell us what we could have done worse. Thank you for our loving and adoring commenters. Cody, Caitlin, David.
Yes, and our money. Thank you for tuning in for a brief moment.
Yes.
Dadgummit says, getting skinned alive sounds horrible. And that does where we'll end our podcast. You want to go skin yourself alive after this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I thought that's what we're going to do regardless.
Oh, yeah.
I think I got another comment.
Stutter dreams, butter dreams, clutter dreams.
Stutter dreams. That's a
Brother
good
Bear
one.
Dreams.
Brother Bear Dreams.
From the hit studio that made.
I want to see how many they do.
Mutter Dreams.
Okay. I like butter creams.
Buttercream.
I like butter creams. Wow, wow, wow.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Slutter dreams.
Ooh, now we're getting somewhere. Can I have one more word
Yes.
without the song?
Just one word.
Just one word?
You said I want one more word without the song.
Then I have to make this a really good word.
Okay.
Pipsqueak.
That is a really good word. Is that it? Okay.
You don't even know if it's an insult or not. I just said the word.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, see you later.
Hey, please
Pipsqueaks.
please subscribe. Please watch our stuff. Please like or hate. I don't care.
Yeah.
Please comment. We love you guys. I hope you love us. Hope you enjoyed watching.
Blunder screams, pinto beans, slither dreams.
Slytherins.
And David just wrote butts.
That's the best one.
Yeah.
That one's.
Props to you.
It's like a well-rounded, well-crafted
Yeah.
joke.
Okay. Bye.
Goodbye, everyone. I love